Everybody, it's your boy, the Versace Stoner, with another episode of VSW.
This one's a big tune.
That's right, folks. Big news flash. Oh my God! VSW.
Brass hats know what time it is. Get up off of your seats and bow down to the king.
One of the greatest in this game, and one of my favorite all-time people in this game. The Versace Stoner.
It's places like this. I started in the middle. I'm here still in the middle. I consider myself a middle wrestler.
Welcome, everybody. It's your boy, the Versace Stoner, with a very special episode of VSW Podcast. We are live here tonight on Love Dog Day. As you can see, I'm dressed for the occasion. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. We are going to be here talking chaotic wrestlings, all charged up, and I can't wait for this one. We're going to give Disabled Wolf a call. He just gave me the signal, said he was ready. We had a little bit of technical difficulties earlier. I don't know what that was all about, but we are running great now. So let's get down to it and give the Wolf a call. And let's see where he is. He just messaged me. He said he was all set. So we will hop into it.
Disabled here.
Welcome, Disabled Wolf. Happy Love Dog Day. This is gonna be a great episode. We're talking chaotic wrestling's all charged up. For some reason we had another technical issue earlier. For some reason we were on, then we were off, then we were on. I don't know what
Ooh,
happened with that. I really don't. But I do know one thing.
what?
That it's all working great now, and we are more than ready to ever to dive into this. First off, I just want to say one hell of a show.
Absolutely. One of the best chaotic show. I think that since I've been going to chaotic, that and Final Fight are probably right up there as my two favorite chaotic shows. And before we start talking, I want to wish everyone this is like our Festivista Christmas. It's Live Day.
Oh yes, and I mean it. It is wonderful.
Love me. I know the new ownership group's probably not happy I said that, but
You know what though? Maybe they are. Who knows? We're gonna talk all about what happened, how it all unfolded, and how everything took place on this faithful evening in Lexington, Massachusetts.
absolutely. So it all starts off like they changed the setup since History Maker the last time they were in, and boy, did it make the show even better. I love the setup. They reversed with the entrances compared to last time.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think they did a great job just really you know, utilizing the space. It was a little cramped the first time in. This time it was much better. Much better. I felt it was much more roomier. I could move around. I liked how you could move around and interact with the wrestlers, buy merch, do all of that great and wonderful stuff, and not feel so crammed like we did feel in the beginning, in that first time when we went to Lexington.
Absolutely, Versace. So it was no doubt one of my probably favorite chaotic shows.
Oh, it was definitely, definitely. Mine too. I mean, especially this year. I mean, I know the year is new, so we've only had a few, but I mean, even last year we had great events. We've had some great stuff. I have to say, ever since the last two owners have just been wonderful. Not
Abs-
Brian Fury did his thing. I didn't really watch a lot of chaotic wrestling when he ran it. I will be honest with you. I had other ventures going on and just kind of didn't have time to watch much of any wrestling. But I did start to pay attention, when Chase Del Monte took over, and I kind of fell in love, during their live well, it wasn't live at the time, but it was the tapings, and then the live
Reloaded.
tapings took place, and and now you got your new owner JT Dunn, and he's done a fantastic job at running this. I mean, we had a great show in Watertown. Now this just it's great.
Absolutely. And maybe people either love them or hate them, but I think they're doing a great job running things. Like I said, I try to stay neutral with Chaotic's roster. I feel close to all of them. So, especially the fight between a certain day we named it after and the group, I just think it's hilarious.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, what the show started off with a banger and unannounced match. You had Anthony Green's music kicked out, and then you had Amani Chaos.
Well, I mean, yes and no. You are right there, but don't forget the unit did come out. Well, no, Ace Austin came out.
Yeah, it was after.
He came out in the beginning,
Oh yeah,
and he said, "This is when you're gonna kick my ass." And they had the words. He opened it up. It was good, but yes, you had an opening. The first actual match of the night was Anthony Green taking on
the new one.
Amani Chaos. It wasn't really announced until that night, I don't think. At least
They
not.
did announce a few days before that Anthony Green would be in action, but they didn't say specifically what he was doing.
That is true. That he
We
did.
didn't know
And,
if he
and I was a
was
little bit shocked and surprised. I was talking to one of my friends' cassettes there, and he said he came back for the fans. I believe that. Because, I knew that he didn't really want to work under a JT Dunn chaotic.
absolutely. They've had a feud for a long time,
They have.
a very long time indeed. But anyways, it did kick off with chaos and Green. There was a lot of athleticism in this matchup.
Oh, yeah, it was. It was. And, I mean, I'm a fan of both. We've seen Armani Chaos really bloom,
Ever since
and
ever since he confronted ever since he got turned in final fight by his former best friend and higher society teammate Paris Van Dale, she aligned herself with Gal Barquet. Like everything's been he can be himself more, I feel like. Very styling. I really like his athleticism in the ring and his gymnast style.
oh yeah. And like I said, since he ditched, well, she ditched him really, but since they parted ways with High Side, I really think the fans have stood behind him. He came out. He had much respect for Anthony Green. Anthony Green actually had a lot of respect for Amani Gas. He's one of the newest students to New England Pro Academy, which let's just talk about for a second. Big announcement for VSW podcast. We
Ooh.
will be attending the fantasy camp,
Hell yeah. I just signed up a few days ago.
and that will be great.
Got that right.
And the other thing is, we'll be able to train with all these people that we talk about, most likely, or at least see some of the people that we talk about. We're probably gonna get our asses kicked. It'll be a lot
Uh,
of fun though. We'll have a special episode of VSW just to talk about it. But okay, I just want to get back to this match. There was a lot of much respect between the two. There was some fun action. There was a little ass slapping action between the two. I thought it was pretty funny myself. It made me laugh. I think, they both have a good personality in and out of the ring. I'm a huge AG mark. We can talk about that all day long. And like I said, Armani is one of my favorite students coming out of the New England Pro Academy. I got to see him a lot in NCW, a little bit, with the Higher Society and the whole original Scrungy squad. And I
yeah.
just his attire and everything. We watched him wrestle on that Reloaded. Great match. He actually faced Love Doug. I posted some content to this morning of that match.
Oh yeah.
And, from there, he's even flourished even more. We've seen him hanging out at Limitless. It's just going to be a matter of time. I believe he's on Let's Wrestle, correct?
He is on less Retzel.
He is. So, but I mean, we've seen it'll just be a matter of time when he's in, a Yarmouth show. So, a lot of stuff coming out of
Yes.
this kid. You basically have I'm not going to say the past versus the future because AG is still the future. This is the guy that never stops growing. Every match is better. He picks something up and he takes it to the next level. He doesn't get stale. He doesn't get stagnant. He just keeps evolving. He's like in your world. He's like a Pokemon that just never would stop evolving. Imagine that. That's
Ooh.
Anthony Green. Okay, you got him, and
Yeah.
now you got the future, the newer wrestler,
On the
and it
chaos.
was a tremendous matchup here.
Yeah. Absolutely. It was a great matchup. It was a Monte Chaos coming up with the upset victory of the night with a roll up over Anthony Green.
It was, but like I said, it was mutual respect match there, and AG did a great, phenomenal job. But it was Armani Chaos picking up that victory.
Yeah, and it was a pretty shocking upset, but it's a great confidence booster for Chaos. He really needs it after separating himself from Paris Van Dale. As I'm excited to see what's in store for his future.
Exactly. There's some titles matches maybe for his future. Who knows? Eventually he could be going after Ricky Smokes.
Yeah,
So we're just
absolutely.
gonna have to wait and see. But there will be one person I know he wants to get on his hands on, and that is Gail.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about him in a little while.
We definitely will.
But the next match is for the Chaotic Tag Team Championships between the unit consisting of Trigger the OG and Danny Miles defending the titles against Brad Cashew and the New England champion, the Smoke Show, Ricky Smokes.
And let's just talk about this for a second. Okay, because originally this actually had no well, it was a mystery opponent. A mystery partner rather, or a partner of Brad Cashew's choosing, and it could be anybody. And he happened to choose the person that took the title off his hands. He chose
Absolutely,
the
but
you could kind of say he chose the better man.
absolutely because he really didn't have many options because he wasn't satisfied with what he's got for students. Sounds familiar, huh, Versace?
Oh, it sure does. It really sure does. And I mean, we can get in a whole new episode into all of that craziness too. There's just so much shit going on in the wrestling world. But luckily, there was none this night. This was just great all around wrestling. And, like I said, he took in the smoke show. And there was a few fans that said Ricky sucks.
Yeah, there was still,
But you know
but
what? He got some cheers too.
he definitely did. There was a lot of diving moves by
I mean,
Smokes. There was
but I have to. I mean, let me just break it up again. I'm sorry to say, we all know that Watertown, Lexington, I think Tewksbury. Where else do you want to go? Burlington.
yeah.
Lowell. Where else? Name another location.
Well, they also went to Boxborough.
Okay, all that I believe is all unit territory.
Ooh,
So no matter where anybody goes, you're in unit territory, and the fan base is there. There's definitely unit fans. There was a lot of unit fans. I'll tell you right now, I'm a unit fan. I had my purple pledge shirt on, and it was just fantastic. I'm a
it's
big
a
big
phenomenal.
unit fan. I took the pledge a long time ago. Yes, today I'm wearing a Love Doug shirt. It is Love Doug Day.
Me
But
too.
tomorrow we'll be back to repping of the unit.
Absolutely. At least the unit didn't ghost you, Versace.
No, they never do.
And anyways, bud. So what happened was, it was really started a back and forth match with. There was a lot of jumping over the middle rope from Cashew and Smokes onto the unit. They did. The crowd was getting into Ricky Smokes and Cashew as Smokes still wasn't too into the fans, still playing a little heelish. As JT calls them, Chase's little helpers. But but it was a back and forth match with the submission moves between Trigger the OG and Danny Miles. Don't forget, Danny Miles has a judo background.
He does, and he's wicked. He's wicked at the strikes, man. He's a hard striker, which I think people get very surprised about that about Danny Miles. They don't know that going into a match with him.
They don't know that at all. It was very. They had a gold chain around their waist, the unit, and Danny Miles was one of them.
Yep, and like I said though, you got two of the best right there though, Brad Cashew and Ricky Smokes. I'm a huge Smokes fan. This kid is gold all day. If you want to talk about gold, for many many reasons, he's a huge draw.
Huge
But he's very talented. Again, Brad Cashew, two of the newest students from New England Pro Academy. Again, two more always evolving
unit.
veterans. Danny Miles, Trigger OG. These guys keep getting better and better and better, and they've been in the game for a long time. We've seen, we know the history. If you know the history of Chaotic, you know these guys. If you know the history of New England wrestling, you know these guys. So again, you got, new versus the old. I think Chaotic is doing that a little bit a lot, and I love it. I love seeing the clash of styles. I love seeing, the era clash even. Even 10-year difference. It's a clash. But the respect is there. These people all respect each other, pretty much. For the most part. For the most part. But this match, like I said, I'm a big tag team fan. I love seeing the Units tag team. I think Brad Cashew made the right choice with Ricky Smokes.
I definitely do, even though it wasn't enough to get the victory.
It was not enough to get the victory. The only other person I was thinking that he might have picked was gonna be Love Doug, but as he already was scheduled for another match that night,
Oh yeah.
so, and
Well,
we'll get into that match too. But yes, it was the unit retaining those chaotic tag team titles and continuing their reign.
it's all because of a gold chain used when the ref wasn't looking on Brad Cashew, and it wasn't enough for those guys to take the victory.
But let me ask you something, Wolf. I mean, does it for you? Are you one of those people that it matters how you win, or are you just happy to win?
I'm usually just happy to win.
Yeah. See, so I mean, the unit just they won the match, so it was good. Good win for the unit. And, they're going to continue. I don't know who they're going to face next. We're going to have some more shows coming up. They mentioned another show going right back. After Tewksbury, going back to Lexington,
Right. Then New Hampshire.
you got the remake up show of the Dover, New Hampshire show. So I mean, you're gonna have a bunch of chaotic wrestling coming up again, and
That's gonna
we can't be more excited for this ride.
absolutely. I do hope we go to all of them, but we should go to at least two. Well, definitely be at least two of the next three.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
And anyway, so are you ready to move on, Versace?
I am.
The third match of the night was it was a singles match between Gal Barquet and with Paris Van Dale against Flip Gordon.
And what a matchup, this was. First off, I mean, again, you got, a veteran kind of guy, Flip Gordon, and another newer student, Gail Barkay. But,
Gail.
he's got a new light now. He's got Paris Van Dale. He's taken Armani Chaos's place, and he's now, doing this. So, I think he picked up a pretty good match here for himself.
Absolutely. A very good match for himself, as some of the crowd was really don't like Flip Gordon, including one of our friends there. But and you
Well,
got
let's
some
be
people.
honest, okay? Let's be honest, and let's just talk a little bit about this because I know how wrestling is, and it is what it is. But the people that don't like Flip Gordon, not necessarily it's because of his wrestling skill, not because of his ring presence. As you know, he's very well opinionated outside of the ring, and a lot of his opinions, some of them are conspiracies, a lot of them are conspiracies in my opinion too, and a lot of people's opinions. But to spread rumors and false information such as COVID isn't real and this and that, when there's medical and scientific evidence to back these claims that it is real. I mean, we all know we've gotten sick. I know a lot of other people
Yeah.
that've gotten sick. I've known wrestlers that's gotten sick. I've known people that have been long term sick. I've known people that have ended up in the hospital. So just to go out and say these claims, as a professional wrestler, as someone that kids look up to and other people look up to in the world, you are an influencer. Why would you influence in this way? I mean, yeah, you have your beliefs, and I'm not going to knock them. That is what you believe. Coolio, do it for you. But just to, spread that in a way, I mean, and I hate getting into all this because it's not what wrestling should be about, but it does infiltrate at time to time, especially when you got wrestlers breaking kayfabe and basically bringing their personal beliefs that have nothing to do with their wrestling character into their social media presence in life. And again, I believe this is a huge error. It's breaking kayfabe. Keep your opinions to yourself, but run yourself a separate page under your shoot name and keep that away from fans in the wrestling world as it just causes turmoil. It does cause people to give you the double middle fingers. It causes people to say you suck. It doesn't have nothing to do with your wrestling skills. With that said aside, Flip is an amazing wrestler inside the ring. He's very acrobatic. He does amazing jumps, flips, kicks, and
The
everything
moonsaults
else.
are amazing.
And like I said, this was a big match for the young Gale as he is trying to make a name for himself in
Well, he
professional
has
wrestling
to
and in
because
chaotic.
he has to make a name for himself because the doppelganger of the former team was in the Super Bowl last night, the Bengals against the Rams, as the chaotic fans have adopted him as Andy Dalton's clone or doppelganger, the former QB of the Cincinnati Bengals, backup of Fields of the Chicago Bears. They really love to chant Andy Dalton at this young superstar.
They sure do. And it's pretty funny as we heard it the first chance at the last time was the Watertown show.
Yeah, I think
And
it's
it kept with it even more.
I think it's gonna be the Massachusetts version of the Kurt Angle "You Suck" chant.
Could be. It could be.
Except it's not in his theme song.
It could. It might. Yeah, they might have to adopt that and put it in there.
Yeah,
They might
absolutely.
have to. But like I said, I think he kept up with Flip very
It was,
nice.
I thought he was going to beat Flip. They have very similar styles.
They do. They really, really do have similar styles. Sorry, I'm just playing around on the stream with this Andy Dalton photo now. It's kind of funny. Um,
Uh,
they do kind of look a little bit alike, I have to say, here in this photo. And yes, they I can see why the fans are chanting him.
oh, big time. The similarities are endless, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, but Flip was going to. Do you even know who Andy Dalton is? And Gal just shrugged it off because I don't think he's much of a football guy.
No, he's not. And you know what? He doesn't have to be, okay? He's with, like I said, Paris Brindle, and he's here to make a name for himself. He's here to wrestle. And like I said, he kept up, head to head. He came out pretty strong, I think.
Absolutely, very strong. They were both very acrobatic. They were exchanging a lot of submission moves, a lot of high flying moves. It was the end of the day, Versace. It was Flip Gordon coming away with the victory.
Well, just like the Bengals, they just couldn't get it done. And yes, it was Flip Gordon taking that victory. Again, I believe now he's still undefeated in chaotic wrestling as he's come back.
Yes, he is
These
undefeated.
both of these guys were undefeated going into this match, right?
Well, Gal Barkley didn't wrestle. He was accompanied Paris Van Dale in the first show of the year.
Okay, so I mean it was his first match kind of deal, but yes, okay, still undefeated. So I mean, and it seems Flip's gonna be hanging around chaotic for a minute, so that's
Yeah, he's
cool.
actually taking on Ricky Smokes at the Tewksbury show.
So that's gonna be a great time. We're gonna have a great time, this year. I think with chaotic wrestling, they have a lot of great stuff in store for us.
Eh, absolutely, I'm very excited indeed, Versace.
Are
So,
we keeping you awake here, Disable Wolf?
yes, I am awake.
Okay, okay. Just I don't want no sleeping.
Yeah, talk. It's been very hard to sleep sometimes, anyways, Versace.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, you ready to move on?
I am.
So, out comes Davey in, and everyone goes crazy and chaotic. So this was supposed to start the Alicia Edwards, Queen of the Unit, versus non America Sweetheart Davey. Alicia Edwards comes in, and then Mike Verna and AC Baby come in, and then out comes the announcement. Bobby Orlando's music hit and said he's here. Bryce obviously couldn't. We at the VSW would like to wish Bryce Donovan of the Shook Crew the best of luck and a safe recovery with his lung transplant.
Yes, most definitely. And this was another kind of surprise matchup. But let me just go back to what you said, about his recovery. And actually, the day of this show was Bryce Donovan's birthday.
Oh wow.
And while we're making announcements, I do got some sad news to mention to our New England wrestling fans if they don't already know. One of the great referees of New England, Jeremy Bell, has unfortunately passed away. This is very
Horrible.
saddening news. It's affected a lot of people right now are very affected by this, and we wish the family and everybody affected by this our deepest condolences here from the VSW podcast.
Absolutely. We are very sad with his loss. He is a very big presence in the South Shore, a very good guy. I've heard. I never met him, but I've heard a lot of good things about him.
And yeah, it's just been a sad day. On social media, not really, like I said, a pleasant day.
Not at all.
But so now, I hate to cut these things, but back to what we're talking about here. Okay, so like I said, it was gonna be kind of the Davian Alicia Edwards match we were thinking it was gonna be. AC baby, Mike Verna comes out,
Yeah, right.
music drops. We got Bobby Orlando Jr. coming out to
Here,
kind of
come
save the day,
again.
and he brings a mystery partner as well.
Oof. And it is Anthony Green, so it becomes a trios match between AG, Bobby Orlando, and Davian, taking on the unit of AC Baby Ace Romero, the Hollywood superstar Man of Steel, Mike Verna, and the queen of the unit, Alicia Edwards.
Yep, it was, and what a great matchup this was. I thought, and seeing AG come out, doing double duty, but a great pick as he does represent chaotic wrestling, and you
Especially
know
when he would even have
this is it's honestly starting to give me a real WCW versus NWO vibe right now. As just even as we go into the ending of this show, we'll talk about it. It really gave me that vibe, but just having this huge faction just kind of come in and and not just take over like okay, yeah, you have factions in WWE like with like dumb names like T-Bar and you know what I'm saying? But these aren't like kind of notable guys. The unit's different. They're taking in big names. They're grabbing people. They grabbed Alicia Edwards, Impact. They took
on
Dirty
Don.
Dango. Okay,
They
they got Dirty Dango to turn against Chase Del Monte. The at the time was the owner. He's
him
another big name. This isn't someone that's just jobbing out at Chaotic. These are all big people. You got Impact star AC Romero. You got TV superstar Mr. Hollywood himself, Mike Verna. You got Danny Miles. You got Trigger OG. You got the guy that's built every wrestling house in the world, JT Dunn, running this thing. He's a mastermind. He holds gold. He is gold. This is a very well established, like NWO was with Hogan, Nash, and Hall type kind of stable.
and there were like three different types of matches going on. You had Alicia Edwards and Davian fighting and chopping outside of the ring. You had AC Romero with Bobby Orlando most of the night, and Verna going after Anthony Green.
You did, and I'm a big Bobby Orlando fan. The Shook Crew is one of my favorite teams, even when they weren't being cheered, in beyond, and they were with Max, and they were fighting against Bear Country and Slade and all that. I cheered for them. Actually got photos with them. I'm actually holding Bobby Orlando Jr. And I love seeing Bobby Orlando fight solo too, as well as Bryce Donovan. They're both very well trained wrestlers out of Creative Pro. These guys are great, in my opinion. We had Bryce Donovan on our TV, on our, no, I'm going to say TV show, on our podcast last year. I'd love to reach out again to Bobby Orlando. I don't know if he ever got the message. We'd love to
Mm.
have him come on and talk as
I
well.
really would love. Imagine the energy he could bring up.
He could bring us great energy.
Oh,
Not that Bryce Donovan didn't,
could use a
but
mom.
but it sounded. But to be truthful, that day, Bryce Donovan did sound like sometimes how you sound when you're trying to keep up with the Versace stoner, and you know how that goes. But
I know how that goes.
so you had this matchup, all these superstars, Anthony Green back, and he still had energy.
Big time. He didn't look like he wrestled a match earlier.
No, not at all.
He was able use some spinning moves that went back and forth. The unit tried to grab some weapons at the end, but it turned out there was a secret weapon the other team had. Bobby Jr. and his siblings.
They had all the little Bobby Jr. Juniors. There was three of them.
Not one, not two, but three.
And it was fantastic. They nailed them with it.
Absolutely. They did nail him with it. But at the end of the day, it was too late. That didn't as Bobby Jr. was flown by Mike Verna into the stand. Even though Bobby Orlando did get a cutter on AC Baby, it wasn't enough as they were able to triple power bomb Davey in and take the victory for the unit.
They stole that victory here, but they took it. But it. What are you gonna do? Alicia Edwards, the unit, it's unit territory. So that means you're outnumbered already going into it.
It is absolutely. It
But where do you think this feud's gonna go?
is hard to say, but I think there's going to be something big happening in Cold Fury.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think about the Eddie Edwards factor? You think Davey goes and tags with teams with Eddie?
Maybe because there hasn't been no mention of it since the first Watertown show. Since
Exactly right.
when the unit attacked Eddie Edwards in that parking lot.
Yep, I remember.
Absolutely, and so we have
I believe it
next.
around this time was the intermission now, wasn't it?
It was the intermission, indeed.
And then that is just what we're going to do to say, well, I'm going to take an intermission. You can tell them a little bit about what's going on because, well, they haven't heard from you in a bit. There hasn't been any Beantown Wolfcasts out there.
Oh, I know. There's a lot to talk about, but we've had a lot of issues within the VSW podcast off the air, and that's getting settled. So I'll finally be able to focus and get on my Wolfcast pretty soon.
Well, tell them all about it. I will be right back.
Okay, so last night, as you know, we had the Super Bowl, and it was a very close game with the Rams taking their first victory. And it's funny, there's a sandwich going on. You had the Rams when they were in St. Louis win the Super Bowl against the Titans, and you have 22 years of Tom Brady, and Tom Brady retires, and the Rams win the Super Bowl. It was like a sandwich, a Brady Rams sandwich. We had a close game between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Rams, but there was a lot of questionable officiating on both sides. But I loved the halftime show between Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Mary J. Blige. That was a great Super Bowl with the houses in it. I had a great time, folks, as it was intermission. And I would like to thank former Bruins goalie after 14 years from Finland, Tuukka Rask, unless you've been living under a rock, has retired from professional hockey as he couldn't do it with the injuries right now. We'll talk about how this Bruins teams go forward after their All-Star break with Marchand and Bergeron representing them in Vegas. You also have the Celtics, but it doesn't look like we'll be getting any Red Sox talk anytime soon, folks. As you know, the players are still in strike with the MLB, as the owners and players still haven't come to a new collective bargaining agreement. Catch all this and more coming on the Wolfcast this Wednesday, only on VSW Podcast. It was a great chaotic show. The intermission was fun. You had Ace Austin selling some cards and 8x10s. You had Bobby Jr. Jr.'s being on sale with Bobby Orlando. You had Gal Barkay selling merch for the first time ever in Chaotic and other promotions he does with Paris Van Dale. You also got Empty Lifter Cards. And you had Danny Miles and JT Dunn selling some merch. You also had a nice venue with his downstairs was a Kino bar. Their popcorn was so great. They were selling candy and hot dogs, and there was a cash bar. There was Rich Palladino there. It was a great time that we got to catch up with some friends. I love the venue at Lexington, one of my favorite venues for chaotic. It's a very great time as I am waiting for the Versace Stoner, as I am able to catch up with the Versace Stoner. As that is amazing, isn't it, folks? Ooh. Versace. Here he is. Keeping up with the Versace Stoner, eh? Ooh, folks, don't turn it off yet. As I did talk about the Wolfcast coming this week, we also got a lot of exciting things finally happening. As it is gonna be fun. As I await the Versace Stoner right now. Did anyone have a great time in the Super Bowl? It's the second most consumed food day of the year, besides Thanksgiving, right above Christmas. No, it's hard to believe. It is very hard indeed. As everyone on the VSW knows, we've been going to a lot of chaotic shows. As their next show is in next Friday night, the 25th, in Tewksbury, the return of Biv Busick. You also got the Dover, New Hampshire show headline, basically a New England Pro Wrestling Academy student showcase with an appearance by the Kingpin New England legend Brian Malonis. I think that's March 8th, I believe, on a Sunday. And the next time, and they'll be there March 18th, right back in Lexington for Chaotic, right before the Cold Fury, I believe.
Yes, I believe so. And I am back. We're back here. And now let's get
Back,
back to business. On to the next matchup.
back to business is what we need to be doing best at the VSW. Back to business, not fantasy land.
Yes. Never quit, though. I can tell you that. Never
Oh,
quit what you're doing, Disabled Wolf.
unless it's group chat.
I don't know. For some reason, the last two promotions that I've had anything to do with that is, well, not professional. The promoters seem to quit. I don't get it. But anyways, that's not this promotion. This promotion, the promoter lost. He got demoted. JT Dunn took over. This is real deal. This is real life. This is real world
They're
wrestling.
professional, and I don't think you see Love Doug, JT Dunn, AG, Davey Ann, and all of them having group chats 24 hours a day fantasizing, do
I
you?
don't know what they do in their spare time, but I believe they are busier than that.
I would hope.
But the next match, which one was it, Disabled?
It actually surprising. We actually comes out with the new chaotic panoptic champion, the dime piece Adam Rourke,
Yes,
as he wanted Rich Palladino to redo his introduction on him.
which we actually don't have a card for. For some reason, because it was an open challenge, I believe, the Aaron Rock.
Oh, I know.
Um, I'm sorry, but I've been like I said, if you've been watching the actual stream, I've been actually like putting the match cards up for the matches that we had. And we didn't have the tag match. The Davey match got switched out, and then this match kind of just got. I didn't have the actual what had happened match, but I am gonna go back and go to another screen. Anyways, you can go about what had happened. Our last the last Panoptic champion Becca lost respectively.
To add to Aaron Rourke. And I believe Becca is all the way out overseas with Ava Everett.
They are, I believe, they're in two different countries. I think one's in England, one's in Germany, or are they both in Germany? I don't know,
Absolutely.
but yes, a new champion was crowned, and it was none other than Aaron Rock. This is
I'm
a kid we kind of watched a little bit. Well, I first got a hold of him
in
from
Reloaded and Beyond.
Beyond Wrestling, yes. That is where I saw him first. And I really I have to say I liked what I saw. He knew how to piss off the crowd. He knew how to just do everything a good heel can do. I hate
Wanted
to
to
use wrestling terms,
have
but there's no other way to describe the bad guy. It is heel, and Aaron Rourke is perfect at it. Now, it was funny when he was at. Well, unlike Beyond, they just kind of hated him. When we seen him in Art in Limitless, they hate him. At that last Chaotic show, he had a fan base.
definitely
And
did.
he had a fan base again here. There were fans chanting, he deserved it. Thank you, Aaron. Um,
Yeah, there he did have some fans, Versace. Very true.
okay, more so than I have seen in a while. I mean, like I said, I've seen the other two places, and it's grown. While it was in chaotic prior, a lot of
Mm,
people against Becca were, voting for Aaron Rourke. I feel like there was even more people out here cheering for this guy this time. Could be wrong, but he's growing in fan base and he's also growing in talent. He's another one that doesn't stay stagnant, even though he's newer to the scene. He's also out of Creative Pro, I believe.
absolutely is at a creative pro. That's where he got started.
A
Brian,
really
my
top promotion. We have to get out there to say, well, I know you don't really want to do a lot of road trips, but we have to get out to a Creative Pro show. So many of these great guys are on there. So many great people have started there. We have to give it a shot. We have to go out there. We went to Jersey last year. We went to the lab. We went to Leapfrog. Went to VXS. We went to Let's Start Something. We Are Wrestling, whatever that was. We went to the IWTV. We got to check this out. It's got to go this year. We have to just do it. We have to bite the bullet and go.
yeah, that's the one show I really want. I'm dying to go see.
Out of them all, we have to do it. We just have to
The
make the time.
birthplace of MJ, Chris Statlander.
We have to make the time and just do it. Can't be an excuse. I think we will enjoy it, and it'll be just one of our things. It wasn't that long ago to say, well, that you were a little iffy on chaotic wrestling, and I remember even after that first tape, and you were like, that was pretty good. I don't know though if we're gonna go back again for such. Well, we were gonna just do one you know, promotion, each and kind of just go on our way. And look at you now. It's been not miss. We've had to split up. We've had to, miss other shows. We've had to, do all sorts of different things. and now you love chaotic wrestling. So it could happen again with another promotion.
Absolutely, Versace. I think Creative Pro would be the one to go with the Friends of the Cardona, the Major Wrestling Podcast, are from the birthplace of MJF and Chris Statlander.
Yep.
Anyways, I'll get back. So, except he wanted to do an open challenge for his title. Aaron Rourke was willing to do an open challenge for his title, and no longer than the amazing veteran New England chaotic legend of Adam Booker. And you know what they called him?
Yes, I do. Go for it, though. You say it. You always do the best with these names. You probably have some special way to say it.
Book Daddy. Book Daddy.
Book
A book.
Daddy. And you know what was funny about Book Daddy? The first thing everybody looked at me, the pony boy looked at me and said, now this is, I can believe, is would be Tough Daddy. I got Doorman Mike going, this is the real Tough Daddy. He's here. He's here. This is the real Tough Daddy. The other guy's
And
an
he's
imposter.
shows up and and faces new people too.
He actually stood up and challenged a new person. And, you know, he has some pride there because he's another one.
Absolutely.
He recent, you know, it was Brad Cashew who took that title off of him before losing it to Ricky Smokes. At
Very
that
true.
taping that we went to, might I add, that original taping.
Yeah. When he was Chaz Cashew, I believe.
He might have. I don't know if he had made the changeover yet at that show. I'm not really sure. But like I said, it was then, and you know now you had Adam Booker coming back, and Aaron Rourke wasn't happy. He said he would face anybody but him.
I was
And
personally
he said, originally he was gonna walk away, and then he said, "Why about me? Why not me?" When they renamed and redid the Panoptic, they made it so it'd be more, for everybody, and that means Adam Booker, Book Daddy.
absolutely, and he actually showed up and faced a new person.
He did. He actually
Uh
showed. Couldn't believe it. Unbelievable. You actually show up and do your job.
and hopefully this Booker guy, he probably didn't message Aaron Rourke 1,000 times before he did it.
Ah, no, I doubt it.
And anyways, it was a really great match back and forth. Like there was also times where Booker felt like he was gonna get the with the suplexes and everything else, the higher grab over Aaron Rourke, but it was a figure four. Whoa! That did it in for Aaron Rourke, and he did retain the Panoptic title against Adam Booker.
Wait, now, let me just cut you off again.
Yeah,
I have to give it up to Aaron Rourke. First of all, two reasons. One, he came out looking like gold dust, and he wore it well.
very
Not
well.
many
And
people can do that. He did it, and he wore it very well. Second of all, not many people these days win with the submission. He did
no,
that well too. Congratulations, you're a wrestler. No, honestly though, a lot of people don't do submission moves. You see it less and less on the indie
you
scene.
actually earlier I forgot to mention Flip Gordon used this STF. He has the same finishing move as one of the same finishing moves as John Cena, but it's called submit to flip to beat Gail Barkay. Forgot to mention that earlier. And now Aaron Rourke submitted Adam Booker.
That's what I'm saying though. This was a real, a real move. Figure four. That's a basic of professional wrestling. A pillar. Ric Flair, he used it. Greg the Hammer Valentine, he used it.
So what led him to take advantage of? He has three belts. He has two in other promotions, including the Creative Pro belt, and he kept distracting ref Speckman and kept trying to use all the belts, but at Adam Booker, and he finally was able to land one on Booker, and then use the figure four leg lock.
Yep. You know, he has his ways. He has his ways of getting what he wants.
Uh huh.
You know,
Indeed.
you know who I'd like to really see this kid match up with? I think that'd
Who?
be a really good matchup, in my
Who's
opinion.
that?
Aaron Rourke versus Nick Diamond.
Oh yeah, very.
I think these two would pair up unbelievable. They would both shine. Dime piece, diamonds. It just goes.
Definitely, it would be great chemistry.
It would be. But it
I,
is Aaron Rourke that has retained the title. He is still the Panoptic champion. And,
and
I mean, what's up? What do you think, in your opinion, what's next for him?
I think Aaron Rourke is gonna have a basic title defense. I wouldn't be surprised if they get a indie person to face against him, but I think eventually he'll be defending that title against Shannon Levangie like he was supposed to at that New Hampshire show that got wiped out due to the snowstorm. That could happen next. Trying to think, maybe he turns face and faces Alicia for that title.
I think Armani eventually needs to come back for it. You know,
Yeah,
he's the one that lost it when Becca won it and they renamed it.
let Becca come back for it. I'm trying to. Maybe you got Brad Cashew coming and challenge for that title.
It's gonna be, I don't know. Possibilities are endless to Sable Wolf on who Brad Cashew
Or
could
who will
face.
take it off Aaron
I
Rourke
mean, not
if
Aaron Rock,
anybody
rather. I'm saying Brad Cashew because you just mentioned him, but it would be interesting. Like I said, Brad coming back to face him for that title. And I
So
think
are
that's who
you
you kind of, I think kind of originally that's, well, I mean, like I said, you kind of thought eventually he's going to be a challenger in that. And it could be just also someone that, we don't know. We've seen AG already, go after it and lose. Do we see a member of the unit, though, go after it and really dominate the end of, the chaotic scene?
you could it could
I
be
could see
I think
Trigger OG and Danny Miles, one of them going for it. JT Dunn could go for it. Alicia Edwards could go for it. AC Baby could go for it. Mike Burner could go for it. I mean, any of them guys and gals could go for this title. So that could be an option. Where it goes, I don't know. But I'll tell you the next match. It had a lot of importance. Very significant matchup.
you're gonna laugh. It's only two of our VSW favorites over the past year. But it's also between the two people who haven't opened the DMs to VSW members.
Yes, that is true.
Absolutely. It is between the prize OG, the Limitless World Champion, Buster, Alec Price versus Are you ready, Versace?
I'm ready for it on his day.
On his day, he is despised by the ownership group of Chaotic Wrestling. It is Luke Duke.
Now, originally Love Doug was fired from Chaotic Wrestling. JT Dunn didn't want nothing to do with him. Then he offered him an opportunity in Dover, New Hampshire. If he won, he could stay in Chaotic Wrestling. That's a hell of
Mm-hmm.
an opportunity, okay? But it's also a hell of a gamble. Like the Super Bowl, it's one match. Winner takes all in his eyes. If the other guy
Absolutely.
wins, well, I
It
mean, he doesn't
wasn't
get nothing, but a lot can be, a lot is on the line. And a lot was on the line. Love Doug, love him or hate him, has a home, or had a home. Is a He's from New England Pro Academy. I know you say he started elsewhere, and that might be true. I didn't get the answers I was looking for. Like as you said, he never responded to me. He did respond to a text saying, a tweet saying something about a lot of lovers in his phone, a lot of lovers in his emails. Not that he doesn't love us. Lover, lover, lover. Love, love, love you. Love Doug. Is
Oh,
basically
he
what
did
he
get
said.
back.
But, for the last while, for as long as I know, New England Pro Academy has been his home. And from there, he's learned. He's learned to grow. He's expanded. We've seen him now blow out everywhere. Limitless, NCW, Proving Ground,
Top rope.
Top Rope. Uh, wasn't even in Gladiators.
Yes, he is. He's about to be next this week.
But and then he's seen him outside the state too. Okay, I seen this guy in Jersey at the lab. He's everywhere. Okay, he's been in a lot of promotions, even ones you haven't
Beyond.
heard of. He's all over the place. He's done a lot. He's
He's
moving
the
up.
head. These two are like the head flagship, two of the four flagship wrestlers of
This is
Wrestling
the
Open.
Oh, it is, and it's the flagship of basically the VSW wrestlers. We had them both on our podcast as interviewees. Alec Price was on our show. Love Doug was part of Cruising for a Bruising.
And both these guys are easily breakout stars, but one of them, Price, has really taken the ball and run with it. He beat Anthony Green for the Limitless World Title. He had a great relationship with Becca, facing big names on Beyond. Well, he had a WWE tryout. This kid's going places, Versace.
Oh, we know he is, and I've been telling you that for a while. Ever since I honestly watched him on Let's Wrestle and Pandemic in the Dojo, I fell in love with Alec Price. The road
Uh,
even pushed it further
I
and
love his
further
prize
and further.
G
And then when I
kicks.
saw him outside of Limitless Wrestling, wrestling around here, it's been a wonderful. He's a product of Bell Time Wrestling. He's product of he's trained in other places as well.
This kid's a work. Both of these men are the workhorses of New England. Can see
They
them
are,
wrestle
in
pre
my eyes,
promote.
they're at every
They were
show at
like
least
what
once a
AG was
weekend.
before the pandemic. Like they would wrestle probably 5 times a week. Both these men.
They've both been all around the world here in a way. We saw Alec Price get to go all the way out at the H2O Center against Rip Bison for a limitless
Texas
showcase
too to
match.
defend that title.
Remember that? And we've seen these people wrestle. Okay, and like you said, Alec Price is holding a very prestigious title in Limitless. You know where
You
that
said
goes. You know the
prestigious.
people that have won that. I mean, do we have to name them? Starting off, you had MJF. MJF.
The
Where's
world's
he right
nicest.
now? Okay.
He beaten CM Punk in AEW.
Okay. Then you had Anthony Green. August Gray. He's had a hell of a time on the 205 Live show. WWE, for whatever reason, has kind of scrapped that, and they've gotten rid of their smaller wrestlers and kind of just adopted other things. So, he was let go. But let's keep the ball rolling here. After that, Christian Casanova come
Killing it. That the only
killing it.
bright thing about the new NXT is
He
Christian
is
Castro
all
come
about
out.
the new NXT. Okay, he's another. I think he's almost like the face of the company. And Carmelo Hayes. Okay,
Yeah.
he's killing it. After him, we had Daniel Garcia, Red Death. This youngster from New York, coming out. We saw him at Beyond a while before the pandemic at BC Dub, kind of in a comedy gig with Blackwood and Puff. Now he's this fierce fighter. Definitely. Blackwood was, doing all that.
Mm-hmm.
He was a fierce competitor. Okay, where's he right now?
AEW.
We had Anthony Green come back and win it again. But then after that, we saw him also on AEW television, and he's just going all around the place, just all these promotions, just capturing titles, doing all sorts of things, wrestling in Florida, wrestling across the country, Midwest, and it's just a matter of time before you see him gone again from our scene, and then now you have the Prize City OG Alec Price. So yes, these people are very. It's a very prestigious list of people that have won that title. He's holding on to it, and he's going places. And you got Love Doug. These two guys killing it. And Love Doug's career in Chaotic on the line.
It's a very back in the fourth match. The crowd was really pulling for Love
Well,
Dog.
that's the thing. And this is my thing. Normally, I feel like a lot of the people just kind of shit on Doug, take him as a joke, or they really love him because the person he's fighting, they hate him. Alec Price, regardless, I don't. There's one thing I don't get about this kid. Whether you're nice or mean to him, he doesn't give a shit. You could say you're doing great. He's still gonna give you the finger. He's still gonna throw soda at you. He's still gonna do something to you. So it's better just to kind of flip them off. I think he likes that.
He slapped the beer can out of someone's hand. That chaotic.
He did. Okay, he did. And that's what the kind of guy Alec Price is. He's a bitter, mean dude. But he's very talented. Now, normally in this matchup, I think a lot of people would just be all over the place, but Love Doug's career was on the line, so I feel like the fans were voting for Love Doug. Yeah, there was a few people that may want to see him leave, but most of Chaotic, I think, has a heart, and in that heart is Love Doug.
Absolutely. We all thought he was going to pull it off, but with the prize OG being too much for Doug, and there was a 1, 2, 3 with the prize OG kicks.
And that's it. And, well, that's all she wrote.
And then JT Dunn comes out right when Doug was on the floor. He's been waiting a long time to do this.
He sure has. They were
Up
ready to do it.
behind comes AC Baby. They've had long beef, as you know. When Love Doug got thrown out of the Watertown show, came in the pandemonium that cost AC Baby the match.
He did. He caused AC Baby the matchup, but AC Baby has no love for Doug. And you know what happened? He picked him up like a rag doll and just carried him into the back. I don't know
JT
what kind of torture
out.
AC Baby was gonna perform on him. I'm sure he was gonna beat him for hours. That's the last person you want
Pile
dragging you out is
started
AC Baby.
off at the breaking point when he did his package pile driver to Love Doug on the table, on the door.
Yep.
Just poor Doug.
Poor Doug is right. And this kicked right off into our next match as JT Dunn, the champion, was already in the ring. And we learned earlier, this match meant something, okay? Years ago, I forget how many years ago they said, but years ago, these two kind of had what seemed to be a tryout match
Or
for
JT
Impact Wrestling. Was it Impact or Ring of Honor? I can't remember.
Impact.
Yes, I was right. I thought so. Okay. Impact Wrestling. As you know, that's a pretty big deal, especially as it is on television. You can find it as big superstars. And years ago, Impact was even bigger because they had a lot of the stars that you see, in AEW.
Joe.
Whoever wasn't in AEW, whoever wasn't big in Impact was in Ring of Honor. You know what I mean? Like those two promotions were is kind of came together with the elite and just made up AEW. But these guys were all over the place. You saw a lot of WWE stars in Impact. You saw a lot of people in Impact, Bullet Club members, all sorts of guys. was an exciting time in Impact, and it was an exciting time in pro wrestling. Now you had these two great superstars going at each other. Somebody's going to be handed a contract. Somebody's going to be given a big FU. It was Ace Austin that won, okay? And they ripped up JT Dunn's contract. As you can see, JT Dunn's been around here in New England and hasn't really gotten to leaves that much. You've seen him a little bit on, television, AEW, so forth. He has friends in AEW, but he didn't get that break. Very bitter about it, and with that, he should be. Ace Austin has a great career now, living the Impact life, TV life, coming back now, doing some wrestling here on the indie scene. He's in chaotic, But these two have and had history.
Absolutely, and it. So he was screaming early in the night, "Death by elbow, death by elbow, death by elbow," 3 times to Ace Austin. And Ace Austin, as you know, got voted the most Please Come Back award for Chaotic for the one-off superstar everyone wanted to see back.
Of course, they love him. The fans love this kid.
His card style's fantastic.
He's
How it's
very young. He's very charismatic. He was with the fans. He hung out. They might have loved Flip Gordon, but Flip runs. He doesn't sit with the fans. Okay? This guy hangs with the fans, took pictures, sold merch. He actually one of those guys that like throw things out into the crowd. He threw one of those cards out. I think the dude next to you caught it. As Becker throws out scrunchies sometimes, and other wrestlers, you gotta love Doug throwing out his little hearts. That's all like interaction stuff. That's the stuff, like when Bret Hart used to come and give a kid his glasses. It's the stuff that keeps people coming and makes fans. Ace Austin is definitely there. And he wanted this title. He wanted the Chaotic World Championship title. He wanted to be JT Dunn again. The
Edwards
only
on.
difference is now JT Dunn in this time period, guess what? He hasn't been sitting around doing nothing, okay? He
He's
is actually been getting better too. He's another one. None of these people we talk about just sit and stay stagnant. They don't just say, well, I'm done. I'm trained. I'm a professional wrestler. I don't have to do anything for 20 years, 30 years. I'm just going to sit down, hang
and
out, watch TV, watch wrestling on TV. Then I'm just going to jump in the ring and wrestle. No, these people are going to seminars. They're learning. They're learning new stuff. They're going to training constantly. They're
and they're not
getting better.
out there to give them attention.
Okay? They're getting better. And that's exactly what JT Dunn has been doing. And he's been really carving his name out for himself here after the pandemic. Coming back. We've seen him, when he attacked Ted Goods. He's been in all sorts of shows. He's been in Limitless, Chaotic. We even saw him at the Big City Rumble and NCW. He's been on multiple other shows. I think every show but like Restival. Um, and this kid is just, killing it out there again. And, JG Dunn is very talented. I don't think Ace Austin was expecting such a fight.
There was a very great fight. This main event did live up to its hype. There's a lot of back and forth between the moves, between some finishing moves. There was a lot of high top rope maneuvers.
It was, but you know what? It was one of my favorite matches of the night. Now,
The
was JT Dunn
with the
retaining the
death by
title?
elbow.
He retained the title.
He used. Uh, well, the referee did throw out Alicia Edwards, right?
Well,
Right when
yes,
she was
Alicia
coming out.
Edwards got ejected, and while she did that, he took advantage. But now, prior to that, there was a fan that actually just called them a bunch of cheaters and walked out, left right before the match ended. He left. They were fighting with the other guy later on, but he was very verbal at the time. The old guy, he was,
Yeah, which JT Dunn's like, put your mask on my face so I don't have to hear your face, something like
yeah,
that.
they dealt with him after when they won. We'll go into that a little bit. We'll talk about what they said. It's kind of funny. Um, but you know, Alicia Edwards, like I said, they were about to hit each other with the belt. They said no. Alicia Edwards gets ejected for interfering one last time. Capitalized. JT Dunn retains. The unit, Alicia Edwards, they all
Death by
come right
oh
back
too.
out and celebrate like nothing happened and basically F you, referee. And then that fan was very verbal, blah, 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 blah. They started with this old man. I don't know how old he was, 100, 200, 300. I don't know. They told him he was 4 times older than Kevin Quinn. They called him Dino Boy, which then actually got the fans into chanting Dino Boy.
I
It
know,
was
boy.
absurd. It was crazy. And then guess what they did, Wolf? Well, you know what they did. You were there with me. They brought back out Love Doug. They were going to
Ooh,
sacrifice him.
kind of like the Ministry of Darkness to Stephanie McMahon.
They were going to sacrifice Love Dogs to the gods of
And he wouldn't
wrestling.
have made it to Valentine's Day or his own day. He almost
The
didn't make it.
I have to say, I saw the looks on the fans' faces, and they were all sitting in anticipation. What was this going to look like? And they were gonna.
I
They
felt
said,
like it.
"You
We
know what?
felt like
I'm
we're
not gonna do it." JT wasn't gonna do it. AC take the honors, and AC was gonna break his neck, basically. And just before he got to doing it,
and then
Team
Chase Del
Chaotic
Monte with
came out. Team Chaotic. You had, Brad Cashew coming out with,
the
the likes of
Mortor,
and Mordor and
Shannon Lavangi,
Jay Levangie. And who else? There was one other person, I believe, right?
Ricky Smokes.
Ricky Smokes. And this put Chase Del Monte in a very difficult predicament because they looked at Chase. They said, Chase, he still dresses that water boy. He's still their servant. You don't have to do this, Chase. Chase, you are chaotic. You are with us. You are one of us. And he looked and he was about to do it, about to do it. And, the unit looked at him.
Ace
And,
Austin without Amane Chaos too.
oh, yeah. And that was it. He was right back to. He looked at me, said, nah. And he was right back to the unit. And the unit left. And Chase Del Monte is still with the unit. He's not going to leave. Why would he? The only reason he's wrestling right now in Chaotic, in this company that he's helped build and love, and that he loves so dearly, is because the unit is giving him a second life there. It's the only reason. And speaking of second lives, I was very happy to see Rich Palladino back. They allowed him to come back. Last time we had ring announcer Jordan
Put it
working it.
this way: if Rich ain't ring announcing in a promotion, chances are not all of them, but the promotion isn't as spectacular.
No, but what I'm saying is last time we had Jordan, Rich was barred for his actions. And he was kind of drunk at the last show. He got himself booted out of Watertown. But he, with the promise that he could work the next show, and he was back working it. He loved it. And it was great. It was great seeing Rich back in Chaotic. So, let me just do something, as I can say about all this. I have to be honest with you. It's one of my favorite shows of the year that Chaotic has put on. It's all been great storylines driven matches. The matches have been great. Even though the flip good and stuff and all of that, I look past that for when I do this. I have to say, I'm going to give every single match a 4.5.
That's fair enough. There was no bad matches on the card.
Nope, there was no filler matches. There was nothing that made me bored. I didn't get bored. I wasn't waiting for the intermission like I do at some other shows and other promotions and things. I was very content in just every match, just from that opening get go when the bell dropped and it was AG versus Armani Chaos. The energy in the place just was all charged up. And it stayed all charged up all night.
And they were on the power play, eh?
They were on the power play, my brother. And now, what a great show. What a great chaotic show. How would
Very
you rate
strong.
it to say,
I
Wolf?
cannot wait to go to more shows. Especially we're on the road to Cold Fury.
We are. How would you rate it? Are you kind of just agreeing with me with the 4.5s?
Oh, absolutely. The one match that stood out, I really loved the Ace Austin JT Dunn match.
They
And the
really
Flip
performed,
Gordon and
and that
Del
that
Bar.
really did deliver and tell a story. And like I said, I was very happy with the actual results because I am a fan of JT Dunn and his title. I am a fan of the
Me
unit.
too.
I am. I have taken the pledge, and it was a great time. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. We got the Took Face show where JT Dunn is no longer offering challenges. He decided he's picking his own opponent. And it's going to be Biff
Ooh.
Busick.
Oh my God.
Former WWE superstar Wonnie Logan, he's back. He's back with a vengeance.
And
We
all
saw him
caps,
in a
baby.
brutal match at Beyond Wrestling,
Biff.
and now he's in Chaotic, and he's gonna fight JT Dunn for the Chaotic World Championship. We
I
can't.
really hope
I
that.
just can't
Plus,
wait
you
for
got
this.
Brad Cashew versus Mecca Brian Johnson.
I can't wait. I
And
can't
Flip
wait.
Gordon versus the Smoke Show for the title.
This is going to be amazing. It's going to be an amazing night in wrestling, and we just can't wait. But with that, I'm going to feel everybody a good night. Go enjoy the last 18 minutes of Love Dog Day. Tomorrow's an all new day, Taco Tuesday. Have yourself a good night, everybody. Versace